Well, I'm going to go backward on this lighter repair. I got everything broken apart. This is a Sonex 6 made out of Korea. These type of lighters kind of like got this little cap on the end of it, like right here, like this. Fits over. These come in like GSKing and stuff like that. This in here, a particular model happens to be a pipe lighter. All right. So let's go over the valve system here first. Like I said, this particular model happens to be a pipe lighter. And it's got some very small O-rings in there, guys. But what you want to do is you want to make sure them O-rings, this has to go up and down inside fairly easy, because it's just got a small spring on the end of this piece right here. Is pushing that plunger up and down. This has got a seal, okay, which this is grabbing, but it can't be hard or it won't work right. So anyway, what you got to do on this model is you want to push that down. Then I had to cut a new rubber stopper right here. And you want to, let me figure out which end here I need to use. You want to stick that down in there. Okay. Alright. And you got the little spring goes on top of that in this part here. I've cleaned this all out. And again, as far as O-ring goes, guys, you're just going to have to just buy a bunch of different size O-rings off of O-rings and more. And disassembling other lighters and stuff and keeping anything that looks good, you know, even though it might not work for the particular lighter that you're rebuilding. It might work for another model if the O-ring's still good, that is. But you can't use it on your rebuild you're doing at the time, okay? But anyway, keep in mind, this does come apart. There is a little, you can see it, a little space in here, you know. We can break that apart. If it's got a little spring, if it comes out like this, and it's got a spring assembly, it's a two-piece, okay? Probably pop out from the top. I knew this one wasn't because it didn't see no pressure fitting. There'd be a small seam going around, so I knew this bottom popped off. All right, now that's rebuilt. That's good to go. Now, here's your lighter tank right here. I don't mess with filler valves during my repair videos because it's the easiest thing to do on a butane lighter is get your filler valve going. So if you're having trouble with that, just watch my repair videos on filler valves and just kind of learn for yourself from there. But the O-ring on this is chewed up. I had different size O-rings. I just found the one that kind of fit in there real good like that. And go ahead and put it on this here. Okay, so you'll know too, this part down in here, these go together like this. All right, just so you'll know. All right, when you screw this in, screw it down, that's what regulates your flame. So you'll know that inside here, there isn't anything now, but inside this is where your pressure valve is. Okay? I should show your regulator. This little spongy piece right here, which Goes down in there like that. Make sure it's flat. And usually got one of these little black brass spacers that comes out of there. What that does is okay. When you're screwing this down here, you're basically screwing on top of the brass, so that keeps your sponge from gripping a hold of this and tearing your sponge up. So you can kind of see what's going on there. That's that. Now this one, for some reason, has two of them. Maybe there was a space issue involved, but I just better go ahead. I usually like to save one, but I'm just going to go ahead and put it back in there because it had two of them for some reason. Alright. Now, tighten that up. You don't have to crank them down real tight, guys. Alright. That'll be good right there. Now this little area right here is a spring on, as you can see. That's where your flame adjustment wheel sits on here. Now there's a little kind of a trick to this, and maybe I'll get it done right first time, maybe I won't. But now we're going to go back to showing how to assemble the lighter, alright? Let's put it together. Let's make sure your flame hole here is pointed toward the front. Alright? Now, you want to make sure your spring lid assembly is on there. Now, let's see. I'm trying to figure out here where I want to I'm going to figure out here where my flame adjustment is to get it somewhat close. So that means I'm going to put a little butane in it. Just enough where I can get now, that ain't too bad. Well, I got that like that. Let's just check the stopper. Stopper's working good. Alright, let's turn it down a little bit more. You turn it down by tightening this to the right, clockwise. But this valve assembly here, as far as the flame adjustment height, works a little bit differently on this. What you gotta do is kind of see the little nub here. It's gonna stop the end of the case, the inside of this case right here. So let's see, I'm on low. I'm going to want to turn high. High is usually this way, but that's not. So I'm going to want to turn it up. I'm thinking about right there ought to be good. So we're at about I'm guessing a 5 o'clock position, according to how I want to set that in here. Which is what I do. I take that out. I'm going to set that at about a 5 o'clock position here on the inside. Hopefully that'll give me pretty close. It's off a little bit, I ain't gonna worry about it. Sometimes I found that's just about the easiest way to do this. That is, if you don't, you just got to these are hard to work with. Just nature of the beast, nature of design. So, let's see what we got here. Sometimes you just gotta move that around till it pops in there. Come on. All right. We got that. Let's see what we got here. And we should go. Yeah. That's going to work good. Got to turn that flame adjustment. All right. Now, you see this little piece here? This here piece is what keeps your flame for your pipe valve pointed in the right direction. And you got your screw. Of course, I didn't get that in there right first time. Alright, let's see what we got here. There we go. Boy, can't get any. On these type lighters, best way, because it's reverse on this because of the way the wheel is. Best way to remember which way is. You want the flame to go back, turn this wheel back. You want the flame to go out, turn that wheel toward that way. All right. Anyway, now. Two main things that hold this cap on is that long thumb wheel screw right there. And this main body screw right here. Sometimes when you putting these together, you can see that hole ain't lining up. You gotta get in there and look and get that where you want it before you stick this in there. There we go. Once you get it in a little bit, take the pressure off of that. If it ain't screwing in, you know that you haven't got enough pressure off of it yet. push in a little bit too as you're these are pretty easy, simple lighters. They're not bad too. I mean, as far as only one design that I know is probably any simpler than this, and that's the J&J lighter. I'll go ahead with you guys. You probably can't work backward. And I'll go through this again, okay? Take it apart. Take this screw out here. Always keep your thumb pressure down on that lid, okay? Until you get that screw out, because you don't want to be stripping them little. There's very little threads and they're not very long. See, that screw doesn't have very long threads. All right, and there's that. Okay, and you're going to have to get this here screw here that goes to your thumb wheel. And you're going to have to get that screw down in there that holds that pipe flame at the right angle. Well, I should say the proper position. And get that out of there and pull that out of there too. Now from here on out, this will come off. I want to show you. See how that wheel sits on top of there? That when this turns, it actually turns this valve. That's how that works. So you adjust it for, keep in mind, you adjust this here for your lowest flame. Then you got to put this. There's no way, guys, of leaving that there like that and putting this cap on. You see what I'm saying? Just let's try it. Maybe I can. Maybe I can't. We'll see. Not really. You see, I just don't have the clearance to do that. So what you want to do is you have it on your lowest flame. All right. And when you get it on your lowest flame, you want to stick this inside your cap and leave it there like that. You got it on your lowest flame, leave that right there, hitting the bottom of this side right here, because that's your lowest flame setting right there. So when you stick that in, the only way you got to go is up. All right, then you just kind of, you know, it came out. Let me put it back in position here real quick. So you put it back together, you just lay it down like that and just work that on like this. Okay, you just might have to, there we go, there we go. Now you're good. Show you where I'm at here. That's your lowest flame. See? Barely see the flame. Now the reason it's acting up is because I moved this flame adjustment wheel. The flame right here. After after I took that out. But anyway, that's how that's done. That's how you time that. Now, this here pops off, but you can use it to unscrew your valve. Okay. Alright. Inside here. You can probably see it. Remember, I got a sponge in there. I had two of these. They're stuck together. Okay. But when you dig out the old sponge out of there, that's going to be your problem if it's plugged up. That sponge is just dirty and it's stuck and it's grimy. You're going to have to dig it out of there, then clean it. Okay? Clean the inside of the cotton swab. And as I told you earlier, just unscrew this here. Take it out. Then you want to get you something appropriate size. I bought some of these. Let me see if this will work. Get you something in there. And look at there, that works perfectly. That'll help put your sponge out or your disc. I'll tell you what I did. You see this right here? This is a 1/2 millimeter rod. I just got these off of eBay. Ordered different sizes. 1/2 millimeter, 1.5 millimeters. This 1/2 millimeter, these are stiff, high spring steel. I think it's a, high spring steel rod. It's a rod. I know it's a wire, but this is what you need to really get down in there. Order them off eBay. Get you, I got a 1/2 millimeter, I think a millimeter, I don't know, maybe a 2.5 millimeter, whatever. But order plenty of them. It's going to be a very helpful tool. You guys out there want to repair your own lighters. Okay. Again, now we're going to reinstall it. Put this back. The reason I say don't crank these down tight, guys, you'll deform. You can get to the point where you deform your O-ring so much that it'll leak. That you don't want to do. Now my sponge. Make sure when you put your sponge in there that it's lying flat like it's supposed to. That is. Now I'll put my two little, that looks to be flat. Put the other one on top of it. Trying to see if it's flat. It's hard to tell with. Got my screw. Yeah, we're good. All right. Remember on this valve, just gonna grab you. You be careful when you're grabbing on this. You don't want to squeeze tight. I should be able to get this off my finger, maybe. Maybe not. There we go. Okay. Yeah, right there. Boom. That went my spring. I think it landed in here in my plate. Now here it is. Those little things, you gotta be careful. Those things, bing! Best thing you can do if you're not for sure, just grab you one of these little neodymium magnets and put it on there. Less apt to pop off. Okay, now you're going to want to remember too that when you take this apart, you might have to change O-rings out here. As far as O-ring sizes, like I said, just maybe get on eBay and look for some of these O-rings. They ain't what you call premium O-rings. They're not Buna, but you know, it's hard to find these type of O-rings in a Buna grade. These will get you by. And if you want, these here have some smaller O-rings in it, a little bit bigger than the one I showed you, but they also have some flat rubber washers on them. Get them off of eBay. Alright. Anyway, hold on just a minute, guys. Grab that real quick. Anyway, you pick up them O-rings and that's what you're going to want to I'm going to get a bigger, a better light system for this here. Looked at one, this is like a 4-inch light, but it's just barely covered over my camera. So, camera lens, you know, so I gotta get a 6-incher. It's gonna get me by though. Alright, now, anyway, use those O-rings, get that. You're gonna have to put a poker in here, get you a can compressed air, make sure this valve is open. Get you some MEK in a little glass jar, soak these parts, it'll get that stuff out of there. You have to do the same thing with this, unplug that, put an O-ring on there, alright. Swab the inside of this out, make sure everything's clean, stick everything back together. Okay, in here you're gonna have to cut your little rubber stopper, stick in there. Just something that's just fit right inside there, but move around a little bit, okay? It's gotta be able to move around, can't fit in there tight. Gotta be able to go up and down with that valve. Alright. I cut this one here. Let's see if I got that on there right now. There we go. Oh, that ain't the end I want. Alright, there's that. Alright. See how strong them magnets are? Look at that. Now, let's put that spring back over this part of this valve. Stick that in there, compress that together. Alright, you're good to go there. Now you can stick that valve back in here. I got the sponge and the two round brass spacers. Stick this on top. Get rid of my magnet. Now I'm going to throw a little more butane in this again. Come up with my there's my small flame right there. Right there. Alright, that's good. Now, at the point of assembling this again, don't forget to stick that in there, guys. Alright. Alright, now, bear in mind, slot side down. Flame adjustment wheel in the slot. Little stopper nub all the way down against the case. You got to put it here all the way down against your case on the low when you got your flame adjusted here on your lighter on the low flame side. Okay. Now, just kind of put that in there like that. I have to just work that around a little bit until all those parts kind of find their position, more or less. You got to remember that flame adjustment wheel and that flame valve. You seen how they kind of mate together? So it might take you a little bit to get that in there right, you know. Believe you me, not everything goes together first time like you want it to. Come on, yeah. Well, stir again. Alright. Yeah. Try to just tip that a little bit as we're putting that on. There we go. Move that a little bit if you have to. It'll kind of get this separation between this wheel and the flame adjustment wheel in the right position. Now, make sure the hole for your flame valve is pointing toward the front, not the back. And okay, there's that. Yeah. I tell you what, been fighting these lesser quality tweezers for way longer than I should have, but guys, get you some Dumont, D-U-M-O-N-T tweezers. There we go. Now, we can put this this in next. Try to get you some anti-magnetic ones too. Magnetic and anti-magnetic ones if you can. Remember what I told you about squeezing this down till you find the proper hole here. There we go. Sometimes you might have to pry it position until you get that right there. There we go. Working great. As you can see, guys, simple fix. Like Sonex 6 made in Korea. These also GSKings and possibly some other stencil names. You know, these Japanese lighter manufacturers. You know, this is made out of Korea, so it's basically the same design as GSKing. Okay. Alright, guys. Hope this helps some of you out.